Hi all, here we have to sketch the graph of the quadratic function, identified the vertex, intercepts, and the equation for the axis of symmetry. We have f of x equals to 6 plus 5x plus x to the second. It's in the form of f of x equals to ax to the second plus bx plus c. And in our example, a is equal to, we have 1x squared, b is equal to 5, we have 5x's, and c is equal to 6, we have one constant. You can always rewrite f of x as f of x equals to x to the second plus 5x plus 6. The very first thing we have to find here is the vertex. And you begin looking for vertex with the axis of symmetry. Vertex is always at x equals to negative b divided by 2a, which is also the equation of axis of symmetry. So we have x equals to negative of b is equal to 5 out of 2 times a is equal to 1. So equation of the axis of symmetry is negative 5 out of 2. Negative 5 out of 2 is same as negative 2.5, and negative 2.5 will be between negative 3 and negative 2, negative 2.5. Our axis of symmetry will be vertical line going through negative 2.5. This is x equals to negative 2.5 or 5 out of 2. So we got our x value for the vertex, which is negative 5 out of 2. We need to calculate y, and in order to do so, you take the x value and you plug it into the original equation. So you need to calculate f of negative 5 out of 2, or negative 2.5 if you would like to work with decimals, equals to 6 plus 5 times negative 5 out of 2 plus negative 5 out of 2 to the second power. So f of negative 5 out of 2 equals to 6 plus times a minus, minus 5 times 5, 25 out of 2. We only multiply numerators and denominators separately, and 5 was out of 1, plus 5 times 5, 25 out of 2 times 2, 4. Common denominator is 4, so we need to multiply first fraction by 4, denominator and numerator. Second fraction needs to be multiplied by 2 out of 2. This will become f of negative 5 out of 2 equals to out of 4. 6 times 4, 24, minus 25 times 2 gives us 50, plus 25. 24 minus 50 plus 25 gives us negative 1 out of 4. So y value for vertex is negative quarter, negative 1 out of 4. Negative quarter should be around here. Quarter of the box between negative 1 and 0. This is our vertex. Negative 5 out of 2, negative 1 quarter. We have just answered two parts. We have axis of symmetry. We have identified the vertex. Now we need to calculate intercepts. Y-intercept will be at x equals to 0. So we need to calculate f of 0, which is 6 plus 5 times 0 plus x to the second, so 0 to the second. And this simplifies into f of 0 equals to 6 plus 0, which is just 6. So y-intercept is at x equals to 0, y equals to 6. So 0, 6 is here. X-intercepts happen when y is equal to 0. So instead of f of x, we have 0 equals to, and I'm going to use this function x squared plus 5x plus 6 because it's easier to factor. You can always use quadratic formula, but with small numbers that are easy to factor, it's much faster to use factoring. We need two factors of 6 that add up to 5. Well, 2 times 3 gives us 6. Positive 2 plus 3 gives us 5 as a sum. And since leading coefficient of x squared is 1, you don't have to do factoring by grouping. You can just use shortcut and say 0 equals to x plus 2 times x plus 3. To get our intercept, you set each parenthesis equals to 0, so x plus 2 equals to 0 and x plus 3 equals to 0. So let's solve for this x1. We need to subtract 2 to both sides. First x-intercept would be -2. To solve for second x-intercept, we need to minus 3 on both sides, and we get x2 equals to -3. So at x equals to -3 and at x equals to -2, we have x-intercept. So this point is x is -2, y is 0. And this point is x is -3, y is 0. The parabola is symmetric across the axis of symmetry. So if I have 5 boxes away from axis of symmetry point here, there is another point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes in the opposite direction. At x -5, y 6, we have another point. If you are not sure, you can just substitute x equals to -5 into original equation, and you see we will get y equals to 6 again. So to complete the graph, we just draw our parabola through the points, and it keeps going forever this way. It keeps going forever this way. Sometimes you will also have to answer questions asking you what is domain of the parabola, and it will always be from -infinity to +infinity. And the range, since parabola opens upwards, you will have lowest points of the y values, which is -1/4, and it will go up forever, meaning it will go all the way to the +infinity. Sometimes you will have to answer questions asking you the intervals where the graph is positive. Positive values are the y values that are appearing above x-axis. So on top of the x-axis we will have positive y values, and they will go from -infinity to x equals to -3, and from x equals to -2 all the way to +infinity, you will have positive y values. And the other possibility could be you would have to indicate where the graph is negative. And they are asking about x intervals where the y values are negative, and negative y values are always below the x-axis. So from x equals to -3 to x equals to -2, we have a graph that is less than 0. That's all.